more than often, it's always someone in the comments or on the lives saying, I didn't get served. I didn't sign a birth certificate. I didn't sign anything, but yet I'm on child support and they're garnishing my wages. I didn't sign nothing, but yet I'm on child support. I didn't receive nothing, yet they're taking my money. What I educate people on, most likely, and you that sounds like a default judgment because when they open these cases, there's a procedure that they must follow. Somewhere in those documents, child support told the courts that they served you and you neglected to respond. So therefore, they entered a default judgment. I had a default judgment. Why? Because child support allegedly served me at a house which I later proved it was a vacant house. Nobody lived there. So I didn't know about the case. I didn't receive the summons. But child support told the courts that I was served and that I neglected to respond. So they presumed that I agreed with what was filed and therefore they entered a default judgment. Is that you? Does that sound, is it starting to hit home? It sounds like something that took place in your situation. They love default judgments. They love default judgments. Default judgments are entered by fake judges. They don't even have to give it to a real judge because that person didn't show up for whatever reason, whether they forged the signature and said that a person was served, or they actually served someone and the person just say, for whatever reason, didn't go to an actual hearing. They love default judgments. They love default judgments. The default judgment is equivalent to a failure to appear in a traffic hearing. And ironically, because they're the same, neither one of them is actually real court. Traffic court, child support court is not court. These are hearings. These are administrative proceedings. Respectfully, these proceedings can be held at McDonald's. You get 3 no call, no shows. They can have a hearing. Hey, Mr. Such and Such, Mrs. Such and Such, remember the contract that you signed when you said you wanted to work here? We gave you our procedures and how we ran things here. You got 3 no call, no shows. It's the same process. It is not court. These child support proceedings are held by attorneys acting as temporary judges, and you must consent to that. But if a person doesn't show up on their own will or because child support didn't follow their own procedures and go through the process of service correctly, there's a default judgment. There's a default judgment. So just be mindful. The way I was able to even discover how they entered the default judgment, I went back to the very beginning of my case and got those documents to see who filed what, who signed what, when was it filed, X, Y, and Z. There was no way that I could have challenged jurisdiction until I had those documents in my hand. ChildSupportersFraud.com. But take care of them kids though, man. This ain't no get out of jail free card.